7 interceptions as in Carvey. He's going to get the start today as Bryce Young with a little bit of some shake and bake, though the ball pops out. Goal line look, though, we go with the toss. Just need to find the edge, and that time we will. And goal, they hand it off Moss. We switch it up, and there goes Stockton to clean it up. Backers just don't really have that, but there goes McCullough. Sack fumble. Moss recovers. Away from him as he's wide open, but we get picked off, relying on our defense yet again. Some throws we know they like to stick underneath as McCullough. Just need the first simple throw, and it's thrown behind. He killed the offense today. That 100% sure. Defense played a winning game. And after that embarrassing performance that still took us into overtime, it ended up being a loss, and it was highlighting a lot of glaring weaknesses on our offense. And those weaknesses we've all already talked about. One of them is Bryce Young is down from his superstar this year to a star. That's due to a lot of turnovers. Really bad accuracy in that game despite having really good ratings. Now, some of it could be due to the offensive line. So in the last 2 seasons, we have signed high talent veteran centers to come in and buy us time to find someone. Sawyer was the guy that we signed this last offseason, hoping he would be able to step in and do all right. And unfortunately, he just hasn't performed that well. We've had slight better success with Carvey, the rookie. The ratings are pretty similar between these two, though Carvey fitted more towards the finesse. We're a little bit more of the power oriented. Now, where we're having our trouble, I think stems from the fact that one of our better run blockers, Richards, is solely that run blocker. The pass blocking outside of the power is not very good. So when we had the veteran centers next to Richards, he was able to highlight what he does best, and the center was able to mask his weaknesses. With our current group, we cannot mask that weakness. And that kind of leads me into my next point, is that we are suffering from just a lack of talent, development even, for the offensive line in the league. Now, the team I would be interested in making a trade with is the Colts. They have one of the best put together offensive lines in the league. And they have Brandon Scherff, who would match kind of that veteran player for us. So if there is a team that would even possibly make a trade, it would be the Colts. Now, we do have a lot of picks to work with here, so I'm not going to be too stingy. But for a 1-year solution, that's more even a half-year solution, I don't really want to go for anything over a top 100 pick. So we have a 107 here. I would be comfortable giving up a 4th. Will the Colts be interested in talking here? Not even close. That, I wanted to keep this in here to show how much in demand guys like these are. The good news is, at least for today's game against the Falcons, a team we dominated week 1, they don't really have a very dominant defensive line. So we've got a little bit of some time to try to work out some schemes, and we could definitely try to mess with it a little bit more today. Find where we best fit, because this front 7 should not provide us much trouble. Though, of course, the saying, any given Sunday is there for a reason. But if we can bounce back, get back to the form we had in week 1, we could go on a tear and maybe have a similar result to last season. Let's get this rivalry game underway as Ford has the boot, and it is nearly out of the back of the end zone. It will be a touchback. Kitchens, the rookie quarterback, heading out with his offense. The last time we played, our defense had a heyday against him, racking up 5 interceptions, though today we will be without the starting slot guy in Cash. It's Chisholm who's taken place, and in play 1, You could spot the difference. 2-2 Atwell takes it all the way. Not a great start. Pretty hard to believe that a ball would be anywhere outside the range of a 6'5" corner. But it was, and now our offense, we need a response. If it could be one play and done, all the better. Chuba Hubbard does get some space. He picks up the first, and he'll pick up 13. And considering how bad the run game was for us last episode, it's a pretty good start. Not as flashy as Atlanta's. As we look to air out the ball, Young, he just looks to tuck and run, sliding down, gain of 9. Now we do want to keep the running of Young to a minimum, but we swing it out here for Hill. Good little spin back, gonna pick up a few more yards. If all things go well today, Young isn't gonna have to do anything crazy. We need to make his life as simple as possible, like dumping the ball out here to Boston, who'll get the catch, gain of 7. Still nothing all too flashy, but just taking the simple, easy yards. Offensive line is starting today just as we had last week, trying to isolate who's the biggest problem as Chuba Hubbard picks up a nice first down to the 28. And as we talked about at the beginning, I think the main problem is the lack of pass blocking ability at the center, that it's just highlighting our inefficiency at left guard. Though the run blocking that we have at that spot is a big necessity for us. So trying to figure out the best way to move these guys around, find the sweet spot. As we hand it off, Chuba, he goes to the right-hand side and gets pulled forward for yet another first down. 3 rushes for him, 38 yards. As we're inside the red zone, down to the 17. Keep with the spread look, go with the halfback screen. We get a block on Bates. Chuba slips by one, looks for the slip back and nearly finds his way into the end zone. They're down to the 2. It was good to see him looking refreshed out there. The jukes did not work all too well last game, and it is not letting me move players. So not going to be able to do any adjustment of the fullback positioning. No problem. Barry just destroyed Bates on that truck stick. Get one more look at it, and boom! A little bit of some extra on that touchdown. Ends up being a great way to finish off that drive, and yeah, we've got a problem here. It is not letting me change players pre-snap, and that has cost us, as it's another one-play touchdown, this time going to Davis. Well, that's gonna be fun today. A new challenge added here by Madden. We can't change players. We just have to make sure our offense keeps up, find a way to deal with that on defense, as Chuba Hubbard picking up exactly where he left off last drive. And obviously, with the success we had from the first game, we know the offense can definitely handle this defense. As we got Hill coming across the middle, he cannot hold on to it. Bates knocks that one out. And any problem we have had with this Falcons defense, it's been their safeties. Delpit and Bates have played some really good games against us. Just got to make sure we make the better plays on them, and Bates not handling the power today. He's now gotten trucked by both Barry and Thomas. 1st and 10 for us just by midfield. Look to find a running lane, and the ball pops out, but we get on top of it. Richards, thank you for being there that time. Though not thank you for the injury here to Madison Boston. He's going to head to the tunnel. That's definitely one of our key targets out now. We'll see if he's able to bounce back as we go back to the running game. Here goes Hubbard holding on to this one. He picks up the first down. So while we find out news on Madison Boston, gonna see a little bit more of Thomas and Callaway. Thomas out on the left side here as they bring the blitz. We roll. We got a receiver deep downfield in Bateman, and it's another knockout from Bates. And to just add a little insult to injury in a punny way, I guess you could say, Madison Boston is out. He actually broke his finger on that play, so he will not be returning, and we are not finding a clear way to throw that ball. With Boston out, it's providing a great opportunity here for Thomas. It's in his contract year as well, so if he could step up, help fill out that spot for us, all the better, as Bates tips that one away. At the 37, we'll have to bring out 4. All things going pretty well on that drive up until that injury. We'll at least have the opportunity to draw this one closer as we hit the 54-yarder. But for us, The biggest challenge is coming to defense, where we've got to be able to switch players as soon as that ball is snapped and try to get away from the cornerback group, because clearly we haven't done very well there. For the first time in this game, it'll be 2 plays at minimum for the Falcons. And if they keep putting us on the outside corners, that's definitely going to be something we're going to have to do. Switch players as soon as that ball is snapped. Pressure in on the quarterback kitchen. Smack 3rd and 1. And unfortunately, that means I can't help out try to get these quick stops. 3rd and 1, though, they do change up the formation, just switching it. As we send the blitz, it's downfield, knocked out by St. Juice. Defense stands, finally, 3 and out. And at least one thing that does stay consistent is short drives. Offense out now at the 28. We start with a stretch. Chuba Hubbard looks for that cutback lane. Maybe a little too much cutback there, but it's a gain of 9. So far, he's averaging just over 10 yards per carry. We change it up here, 2nd and 1. Look to see if we can find a deep ball downfield. Chuba gets the step on Okuda, and that's going to be a big gain, a foot race, 10-5 touchdown. Our offense can score quickly too. Chuba Hubbard doing the work. If only he was able to do that a week ago, maybe he would be the X factor today. Falcons out, they look for a ball downfield, and it's Tutu getting by Chisholm again, foot race, and he's gonna win it. That's now 3 of 4 drives that are 1-play touchdowns. With the majority of those all being on the rookie in Chisholm, we gotta get him out of there. We'll make some adjustments heading into our next drive, but for now, offense back out 21-17. And we're still in the first quarter. We find Hill downfield, ball pops out. He looked like he was down. But if that stands, the Falcons take over. Luckily, the booth review is coming in. We'll take a quick look. Definitely, again, to me, looked like he was down but hit, and that should confirm it. We'll expedite that process and get ourselves finally to the end of the first quarter, 21-17. They've only had 6 plays, though those 6 plays have led to a 21-17 lead. Our offense has been able to keep up with them, but that's not how we want to play the game. We like to be in control. So let's keep the offense moving as we typically do, and hopefully the adjustments we're making to our cornerback group will sort out that issue. As we got our tight end downfield, that's Callaway, who finally we hold on to a pass downfield. Maybe because that one wasn't on Bates. Either way, big play for tight end 3. As we go back to Chuba, they send the blitz to the opposite side. Great open field tackle by Delpit. Chuba tried to put that juke move on him. It's worked pretty well so far, though not that time. Looks like we might have some man-on-man coverage here. Look for Thomas to the outside. Doubt Faust is going to get the step. Or Young, he's got some space. Will pick up the first and take a hit. Looks like he tried to slide. Just so happened to start that process a little too late. 1st and goal, just outside the 5. We spread, try to find a gap, and Chuba denied at the goal line. So for the 2nd time today, Barry heads out looking for that easy pounded in touchdown, and he's got it this time. Bates nowhere inside. He stayed away from that smoke. But as the defense heads out, indeed we are going to be making changes. Chisholm is out at slot. We'll see Werner, who is another guy who hasn't gotten much playing time at all. Though Stockton, great job there. Brothers helps clean it up. Just a gain of 1. And that's really what we need, because in that first game where we were dominant, we took away Robinson's game. Need more of it, as there is a pass downfield again for Tutu. Why can we not cover Tutu Atwell? In the last few matches we've had against the Falcons, it's been him as the main receiver for making the big plays, not much of anyone else, and that includes Kyle Pitts, who gets close to the first down there, forced out inches shy. And that was Werner, the slot corner, doing so. Now, if he doesn't pick things up, another thing we could do is actually move our strong safety in Edwards down to that corner spot and move around some safeties. Either way, whatever we end up deciding to do, it's got to be a immediate adjustment here. Can't keep letting the Falcons have these easy drives, as that is high for Tutu, but he skies up for it. And outside of these just throws downfield, we've also got to start to work where we line up, as that's lofted up, and London had the step just a little too far from Kitchens. And I definitely feel like we need to work on the inside shade here. A lot of the throws have been to the inside, as it's another dropped pick by St. Just. His team would have so many interceptions if he would just hold on to some of those. It's at least a knockaway. That's something we haven't had too much of today, as it's to the outside, too far outside for Kyle Pitts. Will bring out the field goal team. And with 2:42 left on the clock, I feel like that's pretty good here for us. It would tie the game up, giving us a chance to run our offense heading into halftime. And any amount of points here for us would be ideal, as we get ball after half. Now, originally came out here with a run, but they have some press coverage single high safety. Let's see if we can find a big play downfield, as Bateman immediately gets a step on the corner. Once again, we beat Akuda past the diving Bates, and how about that? One play splash down in the end zone. Bateman takes it the distance. And with that, we've already seen more scoring today than we have averaged in the last few games. A great way to get us going. A great early play there from Bates. Needs to finish. Luckily, his teammates did for him. And that is exactly what we need from the rookie DT, who has well earned that starting spot. And he takes us to the 2-minute warning. Up a touchdown. Though to keep things as we were hoping they would be since we scored so quickly, we need to make sure we get a stop here. Give us that opportunity to grow our lead after half, or honestly even beforehand would be great, as they do not give them the first down on that. Let's check the play a little bit. Try to send a blitz. Try to get in the face of Kitchens. We don't. Quick throw goes to the first down to Davis. And they're in hurry up mode here. I'm good with the man up. Doesn't look like they're doing too many of their normal inside plays. Going to the outside, and we whiff on the tackles. Had two defenders there. I don't know why whenever we play the Falcons, our defense, they kind of lose their minds. But I guess with that score, it does still leave us some time to try to find some more points yet again before halftime. They got two high safeties this time. Thomas, he gets a little bit of space to the outside. Good ball there from Young. And I think the big difference between last week to this week is he's been able to stay clean. He hasn't been hit much. He's scrambled around, but he's making the throws as he finds Tyreek Hill with some room to run. He cuts back in, and that's a big play to the 32, though. He gets up, he celebrates, but he's also going to head to the sideline. Something a little shaken up there. Perhaps maybe he tweaked something on the celebration, or the adrenaline covered it up. But we got 1:05 left. A little bit of a high snap. Chuba Hubbard on the draw. He had space to the right-hand side, though did not see it. Of course, with that injury to Tyreek Hill as well, we do lose one of our timeouts, so we have 2 remaining. We're down to the 26, trying to set up the halfback screen here. Get over the top, which we will. Blockers out in front. Okay, they didn't decide to block. We'll pick up the first down and get out of bounds. That's definitely something we've got to get fixed. Cannot allow 3 blockers to all whiff on just one guy. Rolling out, we got Faust coming across and just off the mark. But honestly, I would take it just off the mark compared to what we had last week. Tyreek Hill back out here. It's a hip problem. We'll see if that continues to ail him throughout this game, but we look to go his way. Not caught in bounds, though that one was close. Maybe thrown a split second earlier, and we would have had that space. We come out with a spread empty look here. Trips to the left, 2 to the right. We got a couple different options to the outside. They vacate the middle, though not enough time. First sack given up here by the offensive line. We'll send out 4. We are at least still taking our lead here before halftime. But of course, with the 3 touchdown, 1 play touchdown drives this game, we're not done yet. Defense still has a job to do as there goes Kyle Pitts. Big gaining. It's up to the 44. Now that leaves them with 1 timeout and 17 seconds left. We've got to get some good coverage downfield as there goes Robinson. He can't hold on to it. Stockton able to just about pick his pocket on that one to jar it free. So 2nd and 10, 13 seconds, and the right tackle moves. Back him up. I'll definitely take that one. Pushes them back to the 39 as they still look for passes downfield. They got London, who holds on to it. Final timeout. So now a tackle inbounds will do it. They won't be able to bring out the field goal unit. So let's back everyone up. Let's play this one safe, as they're looking more just for the sideline, and they will get it. Trying to find that game-tying field goal. They're in range. So far today, both offenses putting their best out on the field. And as this ball is snapped back, kick is up, it's leaning, and off the upright, no good. We will keep the 34-31 lead into halftime. Defense needed to do a better job there before half. Just altogether, defense needed to do better. So many big plays given up. Offense, they're doing well though. We knew that we would do a better job against this defensive line. But still, overall, pretty happy with the offense for that first half. Looking around the league here, I would not mind the Buccaneers losing. If the 6-1 Eagles can help us out, all the better. That game is tied up currently. Vikings, they're hosting the Chargers, and it's the Chargers in front, 21-7. Nichols, their young quarterback, hasn't had the best start to his season, though the Chargers just haven't had a great couple years under Herbert either. Actually, I guess it's a little bit more than couple now. Texans, they're currently up on the Jets 10-7 going into halftime. Both teams trying to get back to 500. But honestly, you can count us in that same group as well, though we're a little bit more behind than them. We start the second half with possession. Now, this is what we were working for that second quarter. Get that lead, try to build upon it here. And in that first half, we found a lot of things that worked out pretty well for us. For the most part, we were able to do as we pleased. As we throw this one into Bateman. Good tackle there from Okuda. Leaves 3rd and 2. Though as the running game has gone today, feel very comfortable here. We just need to make sure that we get that double team there. And yeah, Mike is all looking good. So as the play clock is expiring here, go with the run. We get the block there from Thomas. Take a few cheap shots there on Chuba, but it's a first down. That puts him at about 200 total yards today. Again, if he had the success that he had today last week, he would be a superstar X factor. And on top of that success, Barry has also done a great job of capping off 2 drives led by Chuba Hubbard. He's getting a little bit more action here in this half as we throw it to the flat. Winters can't hold on to it. We try to give the fullback a little bit more love here and there. That time didn't pan out, but he could help us get a block here as Carvey did not. Stuffed. Great job there from 92 McCall. Now, this team is known for being aggressive, and that we will stay. 4th and 1. Just need a yard. Chuba Hubbard will do a little bit more than that. But I am starting to notice the Falcons trying to stack that box a little bit more. So let's bring up an RPO here. We got Faust, we got Hill, or we can hand it off to Chuba. That we will. Give us a couple different options. We'll pick up 3. Now off of that with a tight box here, a little bit of some play action. See if we can get some space downfield. But we got Bateman with some space. That's going to be down to about the 15 where he heads out and scored it by the corner. But a big play there. We keep with the same look thereafter. 1st and 10. We go back to Chuba, who will pick up a couple. Richards not quite able to move Barnes out the way. But we have an option for the back pylon here. Let's shorten Bateman's route a little bit. All going to depend on what A.J. Terrell does out there. As we got Tyreek, we tried to squeeze it into a window. And overall, it was a pretty decent placement there from Young, but just a little bit too tight. As we go Callaway, he holds on to it now. 4th and 1 at the 6. We could just take the field goal, but a touchdown from the Falcons ends that. So the offense stays on out. We had the read option dialed up, didn't like the look. Hard count, no one jumps. Got a couple different options here. Just need to find the easy one, as Young will end up running into the end zone. We can thank the Falcons for that. The last hit pushed him over. We'll widen this lead now to score. And it would be all the better if the defense can get a quick stop here from it. I think they've only gotten one outright stop, but Robinson, he's got speed. It's coming down to St. Just and angles, and we will catch him. We limit the drive to at least 2 plays yet again. Just way too many big plays given up today. It's not like the defense to do so, as it will indeed just be 2 plays. Kyle Pitts polishes it off. And we've really got to find a way to take control of this game. That's going to come down to our offense, as the Falcons are trailing. So we need this to be essentially a hydraulic press run here. We need to choose some clock, help out our defense a little bit. Obviously, we've helped them out quite a lot already by scoring 41 points. We're not even into the 4th quarter yet. But we've got to take up some time. Barry looks for a cut, and he'll pick up 4. A pretty stark difference between the averages of the 2 running backs today, as Hubbard back in here on second. As we go with a more spread look, he looks for the cut back lane. Not quite gonna get by Bates, though that one was close. But with us milking that clock, we will head to the 4th quarter. 41-38. It's just been an all-out race. And honestly, whatever defense ends up making that play first is going to be the deciding factor. 3rd and 2 at around the 45. We do get that double to the linebacker. Chuba Hubbard, he's got space to the outside. He outruns the linebacker. He's outrunning Del Pitt, and we will not deny him the touchdown. Chuba Hubbard from about 52 yards. And of course, we got to shout out the blocking on that. Absolutely beautiful. We don't take much time off the clock, but we retake a 2-score lead here, as the Falcons already picking back up. Another first down for them. Kitchens, he's turned the game around. In our first meeting, he had 5 interceptions. He has 5 touchdowns today. Big help to his receivers is finding wide open spaces, and Robinson started to pick things up as well. He's at about 87 yards rushing, though about 70 or so of that all came off of that one big run last drive. So until that point, we were doing a great job of keeping his play to a minimum. Hodgins with a big hit, but Tutu holds on. 5 catches for him. Way over 150 yards as we send the blitz. It's downfield, and Davis is looking and will get that 2nd touchdown. We've got to keep this Falcons offense off the field. Luckily for us, we have a player dominating just as their offense is, and it's Chuba Hubbard. About 250 total yards today, though. He's taking a big hit on that one. We'll just slightly move his rushing yards under 190. 2nd and 11. If they're going to be bringing some blitzes, we're going to look to counter that. Good blocking on this halfback screen. Good juke. 37 with a great open field tackle in Blackman. And once again, we find ourselves with another 3rd and short. Coming out in a tight shotgun look here. Barry checks in at running back. Good blocking, got space to the outside. Rolls over Bates again. I don't think he likes Bates. There must have been something said, something done in one of the previous matches. He's out for him in this one. 1st and 10, we're going to keep Barry out. Go back to the same play down the middle. Better job there from the Falcons. Now that does buy a little bit of a breather for Chuba Hubbard as we come out spread empty. He's over to the right-hand side, trying to set up his halfback/receiver screen. Keep the legs moving a little bit. We'll pick up a couple. But on 3rd and 5, we got to make sure we keep this drive moving. As we bring out Winters, he's going to go out on a route here due to the lack of depth we have at tight end, and he gets some space, rumbling, bumbling, running through, and tripping down all the way down to the 26. When we drafted him, he was a pure blocker. He's developed some of that athleticism with the ball in his hands, and I am here for it. Got to show some fullback love. Good spin move there from Chuba, gain of 4. And we find ourselves now down to the 2-minute warning. This is exactly what we needed this drive. We knew we had to keep the Falcons offense off the field, and we are doing that so far. As we were trying to go with the screen, they read it quickly. We end up clutching that ball. We'll take the sack, 3rd and 11. Hard count, no one jumps. We got trips to the right-hand side. I'm keeping an eye on Thomas. Get him over the top of the linebacker and about a foot more of elevation. That's a touchdown. Unfortunately, with it being 4th and long, we've got to send out the field goal unit. Now, this does not put us up a full touchdown. A touchdown and the extra point for the Falcons. Or on the kick return itself, it will go wrong immediately. That, both good and not good. We have time, we're still in control, but we no longer have the lead. At least the good news is we have one of the best kickers in the league. Ford can hit from about 64, if not further. We might have to test that here, hopefully not. We start a little bit of some play action. We have time in this game, though. Here comes the pass rush. We can't let the sack start now. We've done so well up until this point. Just going to switch the receivers around a little bit, mostly send Chuba Hubbard to that right-hand side as they bring down the safety. See if we get him open to the outside. We do. Gonna take over that 1st down and out of bounds. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure Young threw that completely sidearmed. Definitely go back, take a look at that. We're gonna send Chuba straight down the field here as well. Might open up. It did. It opened up Thomas, just that time to throw, not good enough. They say we need the 47. And for us, that is honestly pretty close, around 15 or so yards away. We've got timeouts. We can run the ball a little bit, but we gotta get by the first line of defense. And we'll get back to the line quickly here. At around 40 seconds left. Trips now to that right-hand side. Let's send Bateman downfield. See if we could get Bates to step down. That works out pretty well for us. Bateman jumps, brings it in, and a blatant face mask will keep the touchdown from occurring. But that's going to move us well inside field goal range. 100% that was a business decision by Okuda. We're going to bring out Barry. We just need to essentially waste these Falcons timeouts if they decide to use them. And honestly, it doesn't look like they are. We'll let this clock run down to around 3 seconds. We'll call our timeout, and we'll send out the field goal unit. This is an absolute gimme for Cole Ford to win the game. It is up and through. The chaos ends. Panthers on top. A heck of a game from the Falcons. They put up a massive effort. So much different than the first meeting earlier this season. 54-52 is your total. Both teams dropped the 50 bomb on each other. Good for Kitchens. I honestly felt bad for him after that first game. Defense, we need a massive bounce back next game. And at least for the questions heading into this game, with the offense massively bouncing back, 645 yards, about 250 rushing, nearly 400 passing. And I don't think there's really a question about the defense. I think a good bit of the problems we had in this game, more specifically with the down the field passing, was because I literally could not change players in this game. And it messed with things. Certain coverages were off because I had to change players as soon as that ball was snapped. So things were a little bit weird. Wasn't able to control much of the linebackers, which would have helped for some of those plays across the middle. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. But we needed Young to bounce back. He very much did. 412 yards, 2 touchdowns. He missed a couple, but the misses, for the most part, were close. Chuba Hubbard, he's also struggled so far this year. He's dealt with some injuries. Massive game. Nearly 200 rushing. He did have the fumble. We recovered it. But he also went over 100 receiving. He was the dude today. And if I do quick math, 120 with about two. Dude went over 300 total yards in this game. If he doesn't have a breakout opportunity after that, I don't know how he earned it last episode. But this is where we're going to leave it for today. I'm not getting to week 9 for this end screen because week 8, you can technically still make trades after, even in the NFL after the game. So I'm going to look around because we have a couple players like Victor Dimukeji who's just been sitting in the trade block. We're not using him. I'm going to look at everyone's roster and see if there's a player that I just feel like we really could use for any position. I'm going to keep an eye out, so I'm not getting to week 9 there, but you can make sure you're here for week 9 by hitting that bear icon on the bottom right or scrolling down and hit the sub button. They both do the exact same thing. And definitely make sure you tap the bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, plus the states only challenge, currently doing Maryland and Pennsylvania. Combine those two. It's been an interesting start. There was a particular rookie on that team who I think is going to be phenomenal for us throughout. So make sure you check that series, and we'll be back here on Monday against the Colts. And hopefully we see our offense continue this kind of play and our defense go back to what we were doing prior to.